Great, welcome to a lesson on proportion. This lesson will help you become better at drawing things, especially portraits, and you'll see why. So here's a definition of proportion. It's a relationship between objects with respect to size and number. And to me, it kind of just sounds like blah, 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 blah. It's kind of hard to understand. When you're thinking about proportion, what you want to remember is that it's all about sizes and amounts of things. So, and how they relate to each other. Now, again, that could still be kind of confusing, but I will use lots of examples to hopefully show you what proportion really means. Okay, so let's talk food. I think pretty much all of us enjoy a good cupcake from time to time. And there's a relationship of sizes when it comes to a cupcake. There's a relationship of amounts and sizes of frosting to cake. Okay, so cupcake has two parts. It has the cake and it has the frosting. Now, depending on your preferences, you might like a cupcake like this, like I do, which has plenty of cake and just a little bit of frosting. Or maybe you like a little bit of cake and a ton of frosting. Or maybe you like a cake with like no frosting on it. So there's relationships of sizes there. Depending on what you like, you could choose your own cupcake. Now, whenever I want you to notice something too, whenever you go to Safeway or bakery or something and you buy a cupcake there, there's proportions when it comes to those cupcakes. So typically what you'll really see is that the size or the height of the cake is usually about equal to the height of the frosting. Same one right here. You can see there's a relationship of sizes. The height of the cake, again, is about the same as the height of the frosting itself. So hopefully you're starting to see proportions. Let's talk more food, though. Let's talk pizza, okay? There's lots of proportions when it comes to how you like your pizza done and the sizes and amounts of things there. Some people love this kind of like Chicago-style pizza with really, really thick crust. And then some people like their pizza very, very thin crust. And let's take a look at these pictures again. Some people love pizzas with like oozing cheese, tons of cheese, and like a little bit of sauce. And some people love pizzas with tons of sauce and just a little bit of cheese. So there's all kinds of size relationships that are happening there, relationships between amounts of things too. Okay, so hopefully that's giving you an idea of proportion. Now, proportion is going to help us become better drawers, especially when we're looking at things in like mathematically and scientifically and in nature. So let's take our understanding of proportions and let's put it into something that you recognize from math. Okay, let's talk about triangles. There's proportions when it comes to triangles. So I think you're aware of these different kinds of triangles. Equilateral triangle, you'll know that a triangle is equilateral because it's the lengths of its sides are all equal. So there's a relationship of size there. The lengths of the sides are all equal. And the measurements of the angles are also equal. They're all 60 degrees, okay? You'll know an isosceles triangle because two sides relate to each other. Two sides of an isosceles triangle are equal to each other. And it also has two equal angles. Okay, so hopefully this is making sense to you. Now, taking a look at nature, if you're going to draw something from nature, and I'm going to skip back and forth between some of these slides. Let's talk about animals, okay? Animals have lots of proportions in their bodies that we probably didn't even realize, okay? So if you're taking a look at this drawing, you could probably tell that somebody here was trying to draw a giraffe, okay? You could probably tell because you see an animal with a really long neck and you're like, oh, hey, giraffes necks are really, really long. But still, there's something wrong about the overall drawing of this giraffe. There's something strange about the drawing. It doesn't look very realistic. So if we actually look at a real drawing of a giraffe, yes, giraffes have really long necks. But take a look at the length of the neck and notice how the length of the neck is about equal to the length of its legs. Okay, so if we look back at that drawing, the length of this neck, they gave really, really tiny legs, and that's why it looks so awkward, okay? So hopefully you can kind of see that proportion there, or take a look at this drawing as well, okay? This nice drawing of a lion, very cute, but if you look at a real lion, you'll notice that its waist is quite skinny compared to its chest. Now, if we look at this lion right here, the proportions are off because they drew it as like one big bubble, and we can't see that kind of scrawny waist of the lion right there. Okay, now we have lots of natural proportions when it comes to the human body that you probably weren't aware of, so we'll talk about them right now. Okay, for example, when it comes to your height and your arm span, when you reach out your arms nice and wide, it's actually equal to your height. So watch, this guy's kind of making note of his height. That's how tall he is. And then check out when he reaches out his arms nice and wide, that's about equal to his height. Okay? Or it's about equal, and the next girl you'll see too. Okay, here we go. She's checking her height. She's marking her height. And there's how tall she is. And look, it's about equal to her arm span, which is cool. There's other natural proportions as well. Okay, for example, your hand is about 1/10 of your height. Okay, and so what you'll see is, obviously, if your hand is 1/10 of your height, then if you're really tall, then you're going to have bigger hands. Okay, so if you know Michael Jordan, he's a very famous basketball player. Maybe you remember the movie Space Jam. He's a really, really tall guy. That's an imprint of his hands. He had really big hands because he was tall, and his hands is 1/10 of his height. His hands were really big. And if you're a shorter person, then you're going to have smaller hands. So this guy is definitely not as tall as Michael Jordan, you can tell. Okay, another interesting proportion of your body is actually the length of your foot is about the same size as your head. Okay, so the length of your foot is about the same size of your head. And your foot is about 1/7 of your height, and therefore your head is about 1/7 to 1/8 of your height. So your overall head you are 1 to 8 heads tall. So that means if you're a really short person, you're going to have a smaller head. And if you're a really tall person, you're going to have a bigger head because everybody's head is 1/7 or 1/8 of their height. And you can see with this picture here, we have a really tall person right here, and therefore his head is a lot bigger, as you can tell, than this girl right here who's much shorter. You can also tell some other things. Look at how their feet are in proportion to their body. So she's shorter, therefore she has smaller feet. He's taller, so he has bigger feet. Look at the size of her hands. That's 1/10 of her height, and she's short, so her height is going to be shorter, and her hands are therefore going to be smaller. You could tell his hands are much bigger because he's a taller guy. Okay, so hopefully this is making sense to you. Now, we're going to be focusing on the proportions of the human face. There's some mathematical proportions that happen when it comes to drawing the human face, and it's going to help you to draw a face naturally and more realistically than this. Okay, we're going to get out of drawing portraits like this, like happy faces. They're really cute and everything, but I've never met a human being who actually looks like this. So by teaching you some of the proportions of the human face, then you'll draw it more realistically, and that's something to look forward to in the next video. Thanks for listening.